mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Check's big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate, we ain't selling short, know the work. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, 'cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah, man, we coming for them things that they said I couldn't have. Keep the team. I got a vision for the things you ain't believe. And here's the motto: hard work is over everything. It's that comeback. I'm calling plays, hit the pass, then the run back. Yeah, I'm far ahead and gotta run last. But we ain't letting up, we never done that. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, 'cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. On the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
XL up in the paint, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man, moving too quick. Keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Head on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at, never fall back. No lies, no facts, we gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Down, never falter. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need a hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. We ain't never fall
Can you guys hear me? There I am. Good morning, Fin fans. Now that you can actually hear me, because I brought the wrong one up. It is a lovely morning at 6:08 a.m. on the east coast of Florida. Nice and balmy. A little warm, but not too hot. Our fearless leader and our gracious host, Ali, has not made it out of bed yet, I think. Unless he's having some kind of family emergency. I'm not really sure. But I went ahead and fired it up for you. Top of the tailgate to you, everybody. Good morning once again. Everybody in chat, Aquavision, Mr. Polk, all of you. As you saw, great hype video for OJ. You can never get enough of OJ. Looks like Monday night was a little busy last night. Ali hasn't got here yet. So I went ahead, fired it up for y'all to hold down the fort. We're talking Miami Dolphins first thing in the morning out the gate. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. And I'm just trying to get my train of thought back because I gave a whole intro and I was muted apparently. So that being said, as you heard, you can find El Capitan every night of the week, every other night at least, calling the games on Sunday, bringing you the tailgate 24/7 if you guys so chose. Created this great network, and we appreciate all of his leadership. El Capitan, Chris Adams, make sure you're catching him late nights. You got myself co-hosting with Ali every morning, top of the tailgate. Of course, hosting this morning. We'll find some news to talk about. We'll try to keep the train going, but you can also find coffee and a cup of color coming at you. Probably, I'm thinking Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, whenever I can make it. We got a plenty to talk about now that we've got some game action going on. So make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you know when we pop up with breaking news, breaking talk. Y'all know Lewis, the rabid Dolphin, likes to fire it up every now and then, just get his words out there. So you want to hit the notification bell to make sure you get that notification that we go live. But otherwise, you can catch Ali also dropping a Broken Takes episode at once a week. And, of course, on Late Night Exhale, Club Exhale, as he likes to call it now, on Saturday nights at 9:30, 10 o'clock, bringing you the hype, getting us hyped up for the game. On Sunday, which this week will be the Denver Broncos at 1 o'clock on Sunday in Hard Rock. Already got my tickets. Make sure you get y'all's tickets. Get in that stadium. Make it loud. And, of course, you can check out Shake Money Mondays, Wednesdays, I believe, and then bringing the tailgate on Fridays with the Smoke Lounge at the drive time. I think he'll have open panels tomorrow on tomorrow's show. So be ready for that. Bring your takes. And of course, KP now on Saturdays with the fantasy show. Running the TFTG Fantasy League. Lots of crazy stuff going on over there. Make sure you're checking that out on Sunday, late mornings through the afternoon. Talking all things fantasy. I'll join him sometimes, talk a little bit of daily fantasy stuff too. And of course, crypto on Mondays and Thursdays. Shake ran the show for him yesterday because he was driving back from New England after a great win by our Dolphins. His show was basically his drive home from the Boston area back to Baltimore. So that was fun. Make sure you're joining crypto. He'll usually open up a panel, but talk a bunch of good stuff. Again, Mondays and Thursdays. And of course, the OG is back, Tonk. TMI Tuesdays. That includes this Tuesday, tonight, 9:30. Not your regular sports show. So check it out. Check out all the great content over here at TFTG. Make sure you're going to TFTGnetwork.com for all your content for TFTG, the Fins Tailgate, the only online virtual tailgate for the Miami Dolphins and other teams. I mean, hey, we enjoy everybody's company around here. We got a couple resident Bills fans, Chargers fan. Well, we haven't seen him since we beat the Chargers, but he'll be back around. You got delusional Patriot fan coming in here all the time. So, get to TFTGnetwork.com, bookmark it, make it your homepage. And it is your centralized location for all Fins Tailgate content, as well as Miami Dolphins news, updates, and news from around the league. Plus, the merch store for TFTG, the merch store, where you can get great things like the Cookin' Folk apron, a color commentary coffee mug. You can drink out of a color commentary coffee mug. It actually makes the coffee taste better. And, of course, if you'd like to help out the show, hit us up on Cash App, $ the Fins Tailgate, or Venmo the Fins Tailgate. Or use some super chats or super stickers. You can also get a membership with us. Hit the join button right below the screen there that you're watching this on, and you will be able to become a Fins Tailgate member for exclusive content, which actually dropped this morning, I believe. More stuff from Johnny Sauces, I understand. I guess he interviewed Bill Belichick. It was pretty interesting. Check that out. And of course, just liking and sharing, as I said earlier, liking gets us out in front of as many eyes as we possibly can. Not a lot of people are aware yet that we're doing a show this early in the morning, talking Dolphins football. So get the word out there, share the video. That helps out everything. And make sure you're also checking out all our affiliates, Dubby Energy Drinks. All smash, no crash. Check out Shake Money's reviews on the starter pack. Liz has tried it. Liz is in chat, I believe. Good morning, Liz. Ask her about it. She'll tell you. Good stuff. All natural. And use that energy to go over to Fanatics to get all the officially licensed gear for all the major sports leagues, including the NFL and your Miami Dolphins. Use the link in the description below so they know we sent you. And of course, after you do that, take your merch that you get from them and bring it over to Backroom Collections for further customization, especially like little visors for your little mini helmets, new paint jobs, stuff like that. Excuse me. And it is a husband and wife team, small business. Make sure you're supporting them. Use hashtag TFTG for 10% off your first purchase. And let them know we sent you. We absolutely appreciate that. I think that's just about everything on the rundown. Unless I forgot anything. Oh, look at that flag. Isn't that just epic? My camera is okay, but my graphics subsystem is still on the fritz, so that's why you get my logo and you don't get my beautiful face in the morning. My radio face, you don't get to see it today, but we'll go ahead and shout out a couple members and audience members. Appreciate y'all. Aquavision first in the chat this morning. Good morning, Aqua. Mr. Polk follows him up. Crazy Dolphin. He's a member. Trucker Sean, how you doing, Trucker? Hope everything is okay on the road for you. Brian's brains. Good morning, Brian. Or at least good morning to your brain. C. Heffel, how you doing? You get your name pronounced correctly this morning. That's C. Heffel. Mansa Chill following him up with a fins up. Yes, it is a good morning, isn't it? Got 13 of you watching. Get the likes up. Make sure we got everybody hitting the like button. That wakes more people up. And hopefully maybe we can wake Ali up here pretty soon. But that's okay if not. I'm going to have to step away just for a second to go grab my coffee because I left it in the other room. And my coffee this morning would be Tim Hortons. Went back to Tim Hortons for a minute. It's good, regular, original, medium blend. Not a bad alternative to Dunkin'. And it tastes pretty good. I think I saw, there was one other person I didn't say hi to. For some reason, it didn't show back here in the backstage. I'm pretty sure I saw Heather in here. Oh, yeah, Heather Long. Good morning, Ali in color. She says, it is going to be an amazing day. And she says it's a beautiful day to save lives. So I'm assuming she must be working the medical sector. And if that's true, and that's what you do for a living, we really appreciate you, Heather. It's always a great day to save lives. And she shows the coffee cup emoji, which means she's having a cup of coffee with color, which you guys should do too. I have nothing for what in the world. Oh, yeah, I do. What in the world? We're going to, this is I guess, the perfect time to go outside of Dolphins news. What in the world? It's still inside the NFL. So we're not going too far out in the world. But as you guys might have saw last night, the Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb suffered a knee injury that will likely put him out the rest of the season, if not longer. Chubb sustained a horrific knee injury during the second quarter of the game against the Steelers after rushing up the middle on 1st and goal. He was hit by safety Minkah Fitzpatrick on the play and was seen grabbing his leg on the ground in the aftermath. The 27-year-old was carted off and ruled out for the remainder of the game. And if y'all weren't watching, we're looking at multiple torn ligaments. I mean, the guy MCL, PCL, and LCL, and in a previous incident in 2015. Troy Aikman called the injury as bad as you can imagine, while Joe Buck said the replay was not to be seen. Yeah, it was pretty bad, guys. Pretty much, you're going to looking at a broken knee, broken leg right at the knee. Didn't look really good on the live as it happened, but hopefully he gets healed up. Speedy recovery to you, Nick Chubb. Nobody wants to see that kind of thing happen. Another piece of news from last night's game: Deshaun Watson somehow wasn't flagged for pushing ref during heated moment, according to Carl Rasmussen over at SI. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson avoided a penalty Monday despite appearing to push a referee during a heated exchange in the fourth quarter against the Steelers. Watson scampered to the sideline for no gain and then was flagged for a personal foul after he grabbed the helmet of Quan Alexander and dragged him toward the bench on Pittsburgh's sideline. Tensions flared afterwards, and amid the ensuing chaos, Watson tried to get in the face of some Steelers defenders. An official attempted to impede his path, and he could be seen shoving the referee to the side. The quarterback was then pulled away from the situation by tight end David Njoku and Ethan Pochik after making contact with the referee. Typically, making unnecessarily physical contact with a referee would result in a 15-yard penalty, and often an ejection would follow. Watson drew an unnecessary roughness flag for his interaction with Alexander, but was otherwise not penalized for his actions. Struggling during Cleveland's 26-22 loss against the NFC Central North rival Steelers, he completed 22 of 40 pass attempts for 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 2 lost fumbles. In addition to the unnecessary roughness penalty, Watson was later flagged for another personal foul, yet not fined by the league either. So we'll see if something else comes of that. Can't be putting your hands on the referee. Looks like things further imploding for Mr. Watson in his new run up in Cleveland. Probably something we should be happy that we avoided down here. Unless he's just not happy there. I don't know. But do better, bro. Can't be pushing the referee. All right, so I guess it's a little time for some football here. I don't have a cause for cleats other than to say, make sure you're helping out the causes for cleats. One other thing. Let me go back. Hold on. See, we winging it here. Y'all and I are winging it. Let me go back to what in the world. It's not official if I don't put up the little title. You know what I mean? We got to go back to what in the world, because this article I came across this morning, also submitted by Carl Rasmussen on SI. A Patriots fan died after incident at Gillette Stadium during Sunday Night Football, per report. A Patriots fan reportedly died on Sunday night after the team's matchup against the Dolphins following an incident in the stands at Gillette Stadium, according to Boston 25 News. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office identified the individual as 53-year-old Dale Mooney, a New Hampshire native. Massachusetts State Police indicate that Mooney suffered from an apparent medical event during the fourth quarter of the game in the 300 section of the stadium at around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He was rushed to the nearby Sturdy Memorial Hospital in Attleboro, where he was later pronounced dead just before midnight. One witness alleges that the victim was struck by a vicious punch, which left him unresponsive for 4 to 5 minutes before medical help arrived and began compressions, per the report. Mooney's wife, Lisa, told Boston 25 that, quote, according to the stadium footage, Dale never threw a punch. A state police spokesperson said Monday afternoon that detectives were investigating the facts and circumstances of the man's death, including the sequence of events prior to the medical incident. Lisa Mooney told 7 News that Dale, a father of 2 adult sons, had been a Patriots season ticket holder for 30 years. Wow. So we got to follow that and see what comes of that. Apparently, man, yeah, rest in peace to the fan. But what's going on over in up in New England, man? Y'all can't be punching each other. If that's, you know, I mean, no fighting, man. I'll be fighting over football. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. It's not like you can run down to the field and play. Ugh. I mean, do better, Patriots fans. I certainly wouldn't think a Dolphin fan was involved with that. So, either case, we'll get back to some football now. Hey, wake up, Ali. Can't you hear me? Hear me? Wake up, Ali. So, Alan Poupart released an article yesterday, about 15 hours ago or so. McDaniel takeaways a day after Dolphins Patriot Week 2 game. Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel looks back on his team's 24-17 victory against the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Head coach Mike McDaniel conducted his traditional day after the game press conference Monday in the aftermath of the Miami Dolphins' 24-17 victory against New England at Gillette Stadium. Here were the highlights from McDaniel's media session. We'll go through a couple of them. I don't want to steal all the guys' thunder, but we'll see what we find here. So there's no timetable for Savon Ahmed's groin injury. We got groins in the building again. More groins. All right, guys. Anyway, let's see. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle is in the concussion protocol, though he did start progressing in that process Monday. Looks like Jalen Phillips was pretty frustrated that he wasn't allowed to play, but from a medical standpoint, the Dolphins felt it wasn't worth the risk. Teron Armstead, same thing. No predictions on whether they'll be back. That's typical. McDaniel also said, despite the overall success of the offense through 2 games, he pointed out there are a lot of areas where the Dolphins can get better, and the idea is to keep getting better week after week. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think that while I have been one not to really, focus on critiquing the games and the flaws and all that, we could always get to that. Or if somebody wanted to ask me what I thought, I could tell them. But look, we corrected a lot of stuff. So obviously, because that's how you know, that's how you win the game, so I haven't been chicken little on it, but I agree that there's plenty of mistakes and flaws that we may be made to pay for by other better teams. So we got to correct that stuff, and it's good that Mike McDaniel is recognizing that, as most good coaches would. For anybody wondering about, maybe this is lip service. Typically it is. But as far as Jason Sanders and how Mike McDaniel feels regarding the decision to attempt a 55-yard field goal late in the game, McDaniel said he initially was planning to go for it on 4th down, but changed his mind after the botched center QB exchange. He called it irresponsible to go for it after that mistake. Points to Jason Sanders' 50-yard field goal against the Jets last year that sent Miami to the playoffs as a reason for confidence he'd make the kick. You've got to be kidding me. That's a stretch, McDaniel. I just have to say that's a stretch, man. You're talking about going back to a kick last year, not even in the last game of the season. A 50-yarder as reason to feel confident that he can make a 55 despite the fact that he just missed an extra point last week. That's kind of odd, if you ask me. Unless he looked at the tape like I did and realized that he was trying to kick around a free rusher on a flying crossbody in front of him. So, that might have had to do with why he missed the extra point. On the issues with the snaps or to center QB exchange, McDaniel describes his level of concern as 2/60ths of the game. Basically says there's isolated incidents that unfortunately are occurring early in the season and during wins. I think he meant to say fortunately, are occurring early in the season and during wins. Yeah, but that's still no excuse. And what's with 2/60ths? Couldn't he have said 1/30th? Aren't we supposed to reduce our fractions? I'm getting there, Mansa. Mansa Chill says we should sign another kicker, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, you don't want to get into this mode of chasing kickers either, which tends to happen when teams do that. Cites the reason for more running as for more quantitative running is that he assumed that New England would focus on stopping their passing game, which was probably a accurate calculation. And of course, as we all know, Raheem Mostert, 18 carries, 121 yards. That is 2 touchdowns. That is 6.72 yards per carry. Great job from Raheem Mostert. Tua sharing credit after improving to 5-0 versus Bill Belichick. This according to Madison Williams, who writes, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa remains undefeated against Bill Belichick and the Patriots following Miami's 24-17 win on Sunday Night Football. Despite all that success against the legendary coach, Tua went out of his way to avoid hogging the spotlight after improving to 5-0. Indeed, he credited the entire Dolphins organization after the AFC East victory. Quote, I think our team is 5-0 against Bill Belichick, Tua said. It's never a me thing. It's never a me thing. And I don't think we ever look at it as, oh, we beat them once, we beat them twice, we beat them 5 times in a row. Every time we face Coach Belichick's team, it's always a challenge, and we know we're going to get their best. End quote. Miami sits atop the division at 2-0, and the Patriots are in last place at 0-2. Against the Patriots, Tua completed 21 of 30 passes for 249 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The Dolphins play host to the Broncos Sunday night at 1 p.m., and we, as fans, look for that to continue. I think a lot of people are, cautiously wanting to be cautious, wanting to lower expectations and, all that. And I just see it as there is absolutely no reason to, in my opinion, lower our expectations based on the fact that we open up the season on the road for 2 games. Not only were we on the road, but we had to travel all the way across the country. And then all the way across the country back to one of our bitter rivals, a place in Foxborough that we haven't had much success in nobody has over the last 20 some years. We had plenty of mistakes, plenty of shooting ourselves in the foot and not scoring as many points, let's say, as we could have in both games, including the one we scored 36 points in. We had some hiccups on defense, given that our defensive coordinator is brand new to the organization and had not even had a chance to ever use this group of guys in live action regular season football. So we won that game. Our offense did their thing and scored more points than the other team. Then against the Patriots, who always have a really well-coached defense, obviously, who have been able to hold our points down in our last few meetings with Tua. We have steadily improved since Mike McDaniel faced Bill Belichick the first time. We have steadily improved and scored more points each game. So we have to credit ourselves with that, but we also have to recognize that high-powered offense or not, Bill Belichick is going to suppress that. And he did, forcing us to run, which we demonstrated we could do. Which is, we have to give ourselves credit for. Sure, we made some mistakes that let the Patriots kind of hang in the game. But ultimately, we finished it off. We finished the job. And now we're 2-0 after a 2-game road trip to start the season. And we're coming home for a proper homecoming to face the Denver Broncos, who, let's face it, are kind of reeling right now. We should put them out of their misery. We shouldn't let them get right on us. It's wise to keep the trap in the back of your mind, given that you're facing Sean Payton with a Russell Wilson. They did put up some points last week, although they blew a big lead. And their coach, Sean Payton, actually publicly called out the quarterback, Russell Wilson, as well as the defensive coordinator, ex-Dolphin, Vance Joseph. So we have to, we're facing a team that's backpedaling right now. And we need to continue to help them in that endeavor. We just need to step on the gas and put these guys out coming in to Hard Rock Sunday at 1:00. I'll be at the game. I got my tickets. I'm going to have the Madden view, which will really be fun because I really, really look forward to watching live football from that view from Mike McDaniel. I mean, this guy is really calling some brilliant plays and has designed some really good stuff. And I look forward to looking at it from that view and really getting an opportunity for myself to witness it, play by play, because it's really, really good. I've watched a little bit of breakdown here and there. I've watched a lot of film recently, past week or two, from the Chargers game, last week's game, Sunday night's game, and it's just, it's a clinic. And I look forward to seeing that on display Sunday when I go to the game. Shout out to Fins Up Winsy. Good morning, Fins Up. Oh, all the way over from New Zealand. We appreciate you, Fins Up, who throws us some New Zealander dollars, 5 of them. Sup, Color, always good to get a win. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Always good to have audience members like yourself, too. Appreciate you, buddy. We got a couple late bringers to the party. Sackman 56, good morning. Saxman J Will, how you doing? I think I saw Dee SCLA, how you doing? Delusional Patriots fan coming in. Of course, Fins Up Winsy, as you just saw. Josh Keppel, good morning, member. And yeah, we do simply need to play better. That's pretty much, all around. We've got plenty of things to clean up. The great news is if we clean up that stuff, people, we could absolutely just roll this league. If we consistently clean this stuff up and keep it cleaned up. My gosh, we're winning and outscoring teams and And we're doing it with lead weights in our shoes. Let's get rid of all that baggage. Let's get our heads right, fix the issues. I will say that penalties have been low on offense, mainly on the offensive line. That's good. Part of that is why we're winning is that reason, because we're disciplined in that regard. But we just need to take every play, one play at a time, because we literally could score on any snap of the football. And that's really powerful. So we're 2-0. We're atop the division. We're likely atop the AFC altogether. I'm going to bring that up in a second and look at it and talk about that a little bit. Thank you again, Fins Up, for another 5 New Zealander dollars. Been watching everything for last 5 years. What a turnaround. We are the ones in AFC. You may be right, Fins Up. You may be right. I'm starting to feel it myself. Haven't heard anything on Brandon Jones or Jeff Wilson, man. So I'll be honest, I haven't really looked either. Yeah, Trucker says, how about fast plays getting called in? Yeah, I mean, things are flowing. Looks like Mansa's not sold on A-Chain yet. We'll see. He got a few carries, little action. We'll see what happens. He might break one. Have a breakout game, maybe. We'll see. I'm not off of him yet, but Aquavision says Wilson is back this week. That'd be helpful. So let's see here. First, we'll look at some efficiency metrics. Wow. Well, what do you know? We'll start with special teams. We'll ease into it. So I'm looking at the ESPN analytics page. And I'm looking at the efficiencies tab. So this is offense, special teams, offense, and defense efficiencies. And then, of course, overall. So the overall says net efficiency on a 0 to 100 scale incorporates offense, defense, and special teams efficiencies into a single schedule adjusted measure of per play efficiency. And that's the same for offense, of course, defense. So offense efficiencies means based on a 0 to 100 scale, based on offense's contribution to scoring margin on per play basis, adjusted for strength of opposing defenses faced. Okay. No problem, Fins Up. We appreciate that. It says, just contributing to the channel with another 5 New Zealander dollar donation. Appreciate you, Fins Up. And good morning, DTA. Currently 3:45 over in your neck of the woods. Good morning. Says, I'm back. All right, well, good. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully you're getting up early. And definitely, as King DTA echoes, Fins Up, Winsy, always appreciated. Appreciate you, mate. And so, and say likewise on defense, the defense efficiency on a 0 to 100 scale based on defense's contribution to scoring margin on per play basis, adjusted for strength of opposing offenses faced. And likewise on special teams. So, special teams efficiencies, as you probably all would expect, Miami ranked down at the bottom of the barrel around 25th. Which is I don't want to keep piling on, but obviously an indictment on our special teams coordinator, who continues to seem to struggle to get our guys right. I won't harp on it. Blocked field goal Sunday night, missed field goals, all that kind of stuff. So we'll move on to defense efficiencies. Of course, we had the really bad showing on the run defense last week. That's keeping us down. Looks like we're ranked 21st in defensive efficiencies, which probably could be a lot worse if you looked at this list last week. So we probably likely have improved after this week's defensive performance, getting a couple turnovers. And did we get a turnover? Yeah, we got the interception from X. Yep. And so, we likely are on an uptrend there. So I don't want to sugarcoat it. We're still ranked 21st, but whatever. We'll deal with it. Long season ahead. Trucker says 31st. Yeah, probably. Could have even been last. And again, as DTA says, much thanks again, Fins Up Winsy, for another $10 donation. Just because, he says, and we may appreciate it. Fins Up Winsy is a great contributor to the channel. Always coming and bringing some talk to us and some takes. He's a great guy. Now moving over to offense. Let me sort for rank. Offense now. So, hey, look at this. Believe it or not, 5th in offensive efficiency is the Baltimore Ravens, with a 69.1 efficiency number out of 100. The team we beat last week, the Chargers, are ranked 6th. Buffalo Bills are ranked 8th. 9th. I'm sorry, 10th in efficiency, which actually comes in behind the Broncos at 9th. That's amazing. So our defense needs to be on their game this week, because the Broncos do put up some numbers, sitting at 0-2. So Dallas sits at number 4. Green Bay sits at number 3. They're getting things right in Green Bay on offense. Of course, the San Francisco 49ers sit at number 2 with an 84.2 efficiency number. And lo and behold, the place our coach came from is number 2, while your Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen, hold the number 1 rank in offense efficiency currently in the NFL, with an efficiency number of 88.5. That's a little over 4 points higher than the San Francisco 49ers. And we're not playing slouches on defense. Well, maybe the Chargers, but the Patriots are no slouch on defense. Both road games. People, We clean up our business, and the Broncos just have no chance this week. None. I don't think many teams at all have a chance if we clean up our business. So, because of our rank on defense and special teams, and because of our stellar rating on offense, the Miami Dolphins are sitting with an overall efficiency number of 68. And that is good for 7th in the NFL. We are the 7th most efficient team in the NFL right now. And given that there's, 8 playoff spots, that should keep us firmly in playoffs. Interestingly enough, the Buffalo Bills sit behind us in 8th with a 67.2 efficiency. Dallas Cowboys, obviously, number 1, 95.9. San Francisco's 83.9 is good for number 2. While the Cleveland Browns, well, their number isn't totaled from last night. They're still showing 1-0, so we don't know where the Browns, and we don't know how this list will adjust. Obviously, if the Browns get knocked out of there, that'll bump the Dolphins and Bills up to 6th and 7th. And I don't foresee the Steelers sliding in. Steelers are way at the bottom. 32nd, actually. Yeah, Newfoundland, good morning, Newfoundland. You're right. We cannot look past Denver, but the Bills will be the test. And Denver, I mean, we can't look past them, but we also have to, as fans, I think we can expect. We can say, hey, I have standards, and based on what we've seen, I expect my team to do such and such. You know what I mean? That we can do as fans. But we as a team cannot look past Denver. You're absolutely right. And we have to, as fans, root for them to not look past Denver. Totally agree with you, Newfoundland. Fins Up wins again. $20 New Zealand bucks today. For DTA in color and El Cap, always delivering great content. Thank you, Fins Up. Appreciate it. Once again. Just tossing his Zealander bucks around. We appreciate it really very much. So after 2 games, I know it's only 2 games, so it's probably easy for us to do our own math in our head for like points per game and all that. But y'all know I like to follow kind of things like points per game and stuff like that on offense and defense. Currently, the Dallas Cowboys are number 1, holding teams to 5 points per game. That's obviously not going to stay. That's never happened in the history of the NFL. So I doubt that's going to stay. Kansas City Chiefs and 49ers are both holding teams to 15 points per game. Some notables. Buffalo, 16 points per game. Our Miami Dolphins are currently, after getting a bunch of points put on them by the Chargers, are sitting at 25.5 points per game, tied with 3 other teams, the Bengals, Commanders, and Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Bengals, Colts, and Cardinals. So we look to improve. We need to look to improve there. On offense, however, unreal. Okay. So the Dallas Cowboys are number 1 on offense, scoring 35 points per game, 323.5 yards per game. That's 195.5 in passing, 128 per game in rushing. The Green Bay Packers sit at the 2nd spot, 276.5 yards per game. That's 188.5 yards passing, 88 yards rushing per game for a total of 31 points per ball game. And our Miami Dolphins are putting up 462 yards per game, 355 yards passing per game, 107.5 yards per rushing per game. Yards rushing per game, not sorry, double spoke there. And that's good for 30 points per game. Much improved. I know it's only a 2-game sample, but much improved already out of the gate. And that's tied with San Francisco's 30 points per game. San Francisco putting up 378 yards per game. That's 204.5 passing and 173.5 rushing. So their balance is the whole other way from ours. The Super Bowl runner-ups are scoring 29.5 points per game. And your Super Bowl champions are sitting down pretty low at scoring 18.5 points per game. Interesting league right now. Fins Up throws us another $5 and says, at this point, I'm just donating. You're funny. Appreciate you, Fins Up. So let's itemize here just for our own vanity. Miami Dolphins are number 1 in yards per game at 462. Number 1, I'm sorry. Yes, number 1 in passing yards per game at 355, followed by the Minnesota Vikings. And rushing, we are pretty low. Pretty low. Low enough that I don't feel like counting it. However, you got teams like the Browns putting up 202 yards per game in rushing. So I didn't expect us to be at the top of the list, but at least we're not at the bottom. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16th. I mean, that's not bad considering. I mean, if we're sitting at about 15th in rushing and number 1 in passing like that, first of all, that suggests about a 65% ratio to passing. So that's good. But I think we'll be okay with that. I mean, yeah. So that's kind of interesting numbers to find out. New Finland asks, I think the Browns now in the mix for JT. Watson may have to pay him out of his pocket. No. Oh, because of because of Chubb. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, that raises the stakes for Jonathan Taylor. But he may not be available quick enough, so they may go for somebody like, different. But there is Kareem Hunt out there. There's also Cam Akers has been talked about. So we'll see how that turns out. So we're at the hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. And look who we found. Look what the cat dragged in.
Cat dragged in. I feel like I got ran over and dragged in by a semi-truck. Damn. I don't know what's going on with my body, man. It's 2 days in a row. I cannot open my eyes or wake up. My life come up.
Oh, that's okay. I happened to fall asleep early last night and woke up about 4 this morning. So I was primed and ready to fire it up anyway for you.
Yeah.
No
I need
worries.
to get to bed much earlier, bro. I went to bed around 10. and I still can't get up. I don't get what's going on with me.
Wow. Well, that's, it happens.
Oh man,
I
I'm
go through
sorry.
stages like that too, obviously.
Yeah, I understand.
So we
Anyway,
got 37 people watching. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button.
yes, that is
Uh,
correct. Make sure you hit the like button, please. Thank you for joining the show. Hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Turn on the notification bell. We're gonna keep this show going. What have you talked about so far, Colin? What's
So
going
we
on?
just went over some news. I did a couple. I did the we talked about the injury last night during What in the World, as well as Watson not getting penalized for shoving a referee or putting his hands on a referee.
Mm,
And also, what else did we talk
I
about?
missed that. He put his hand on a referee.
Yeah, last night didn't even get penalized.
Yeah, I remember
And
we would
I
get
also
ejection for that kind of stuff, even if it was an accident.
right. The other thing was Patriot fan died at the game Sunday in the stands, or
I'm so
not didn't
sorry.
die in the stands, but you know what I mean. Like, and apparently there's some smatterings from witnesses talking about him being punched in the chest. But yeah, dude ended up dying, man. So we talked about that, and then of course into some Dolphin talk. We went over some of the things McDaniel pointed out in his presser, um, as well as uh, Tua giving credit to the team and the organization overall for being
Mm,
able to defeat the Patriots or Belichick 5 times with him at the helm. There was that, and then I just kind of moved into going over our current offense and defensive efficiency stats on ESPN's analytics.
mm.
Looking real good for our offense, man. We're up there at the top.
Yeah, we are.
Defense is okay. I mean, we're recovering from last week's debacle, but we're still kind of ranked a little low. But overall, we're ranked at 7th in the league in efficiency for offense and defense. So I just went into the points per game and yards per game numbers after a small sample size of 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting now at 30 points per game. And keep in mind, this is on the road. You know what I mean? And our
Mm-hmm.
defense sitting at about 25.5. Obviously, we got quite a few points put on us last week and this week. But even then, you're talking about road. Last year, our road was like 30 points per game, and our home was 15. So if we get
Mm-hmm.
a good performance this year again at home on defense like that, by next week we should be back down to our normal numbers. You know what I mean? As far as
Yeah, I mean,
after the Chargers debacle,
Sunday night's performance, I think, was much better improved compared to the week before. I mean, I'm not
Sure,
gonna
we
lie.
held them to 17 a game. A 17 points. That's where we want our average to be
Yeah,
honest with
so we did what we're supposed to. It just has to average out once we start get it going. In
you.
addition, did you talk about Van Ginkel at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And
All right,
so
let's
if you
actually
would like to
discuss it.
segue over to
Yes.
that, I could certainly use to go grab my coffee that I left in the other room.
All right, actually, I'm going to do that real quick. And hold on, let's actually do this color.
Sure thing. While we're waiting on that, everybody, make sure you're catching all the great content over here at
Yeah,
TFTG. We're bringing it to you
yeah,
every
let's do
day. And also most mornings here at 6 to 8
most
a.m.
mornings.
with I'm sorry, with Ali, top of the tailgate, and myself co-hosting with him.
Yes,
As
let's
well as
do.
Capitan every other night of the week. You got Shake Money doing the drive time in the smoke lounge.
Mhm.
You got Lewis the rabid dolphin throwing his foam everywhere. You got KP with the fantasy show on Saturdays, crypto twice a week, uh, Mondays and Thursdays, and of course the OG Tonk bringing it with TMI Tuesdays. Hit us up on Cash App, $ the Fins Tailgate, Venmo the Fins Tailgate, as well as super chats, super stickers, and memberships. And thank you to all
Mhm.
those who have, including Fins Up Winsy this morning, just throwing his ducats all over the place, Ali.
Yeah, let's actually do this real quick, color. We're gonna leave that up. We are going to Let me do this. We're gonna do this.
Oh, real quick, I wanted to point out the latest one. Fins up throwing us some more New Zealander bucks. Saying "Sup, Ali."
What's up, man? I'm sorry I was late this morning. I apologize. Let's actually do this color. We're gonna leave that up, and we're gonna play some of.
Okay. Good morning, Papa Paul.
Yeah, we are gonna play.
Got King DTA in the chat too. He's been kicking it with us.
Yeah, he's up early. Damn.
4 o'clock in the morning out there, man.
Where is it? Color. I had it here. You know what?
Which one?
I had your music. I was looking for yours. Is it this one? No, not that one. It's all right. I'll play your new one that you like anyway.
Right on.
Where is that?
I'm gonna.
Oh, that's why, color. That is why you're on late night. I for some reason.
Oh, you got a different one for top of the tailgate?
Yeah, bro. We got different ones.
It was already set on that when I got in, so I saw your logo up there, and I didn't even think about it.
What the heck?
I forgot you had a different logo for top of the tailgate.
That's why I'm like, why does everything look so wrong? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So the intro I did was Late Night Exhales intro.
Oh boy.
You know
yeah. I did not.
That's a good one to wake people up anyway.
Yeah, we have different profiles per show, bro.
Yeah, I completely brain farted on that. I was like,
it's okay, bro.
And I like had my other version of me instead of this one. So my whole introduction for like the first 30 seconds was not heard by anybody.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I totally botched it this morning, bro. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. At least we got it going on. So let's play this real quick, and then we're gonna go grab coffee, and we'll come right back.
Right on, man. Thank you so much, Fins Up Wednesday. God, I love that stuff, man. That is some great music, guys.
shout out to Sins Up Winsy again for another $10 donation, if I'm reading that correct. Gosh, I'm blind. Donating because I didn't pay for NFL Pass, 10 New Zealand dollars, about 6 American, but $10 is $10 in New Zealand. Yeah, appreciate it, man. And, you know, every dime helps, bro. Appreciate your love, appreciate your support. Good morning, Adam Sadowski. How you doing? Dolphin Don coming in. Appreciate you guys all coming in. 29 of you right now. V21. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button. Share this booger out. Manolo Ribeiro, how you doing? It sounds
Good
like we
morning.
got Ali coughing his way back into the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hell, you're all right.
It's one of those days, man. Maybe the action of watching 2 Monday night games was too much for me.
So what did you think about that injury last night, man? I hate to talk about it, but gosh,
I don't even
man.
want to talk about it, to be honest, because I don't really know anything about like the injury and actually to speak to the injury.
I mean, did you
What I
see
can tell you is this: Shake Money. I didn't get to watch it live, right? Shake
me
Money
neither.
put a image in the group chat with us, right?
Pretty
And
disturbing.
I
huh?
about died. My eyes were not ready for that.
Me neither.
It was not ready for that at all. My eyes hurt, and I wanted to cry, dude. Like it was that
Yeah,
bad.
that's rough.
Holy shit.
The only thing you can consolation is that's the type of injury that instantly shoots the endorphins in. So he likely didn't feel much. You know what I mean? Right afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't. When they carted him off, he didn't look like he was screaming his head off. He just
Right, right. I mean,
you
that's the
could tell
kind
he
of
was
thing happens
comforted,
real
you know?
quick that your body quickly gets your natural painkillers in. You know what I mean? You could hope anyway, as far as for his sake, because that was
Yeah, that
quite
was
disturbing to the point I had pointed out that Joe Buck had said it's the replay was not to be seen.
yeah, he did. It's not going to be shown because it's too gruesome. So, in
I
fact,
mean, and contrary, I wanted to point something out on that that I forgot to mention was that that's contrary to how it used to be, you know, on NFL and on the TV. They on a Sunday night football game, I believe it was or it could have been Monday night when Joe Theismann got his injury from Lawrence Taylor, and they were not only were they replaying it, they were putting a little highlight window circle on it. You know what I mean? Oh, it was brutal, man. They just kept showing it over and over again that night on the broadcast. You know what I mean? So it's stark difference from where we were to where we've
yeah,
come.
the one view
you know?
image that they did show of the replay, to be honest, you couldn't see
Right.
like you saw it from more of an above thing, and you see him getting thrown over, and he's on the ground really
Right.
bad. You know what I mean? That one was not too bad watching, but if you saw the still image that we have, oh my god!
I mean, the only consolation, I guess, is that it all happened right at the joint and it tore everything in there, ligaments and all. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's something that could be career threatening, I'd imagine. But
yeah,
at the
especially
same
for running
time,
back.
you know, you're not looking at. I don't believe you're looking at a compound fracture. You know what I mean? In his shin or nothing. So I'm not sure, of course, but we'd have to wait till all the experts tell us. But I don't know if that matters for as bad as it was anyway. Given that I guess it's not the first time that he's torn all that stuff in there. You know what I mean? Like, back in 2015, I guess he had, you know.
Did you get all of these by Fins Up Winsy, bro?
Yeah. Oh, I have no idea, bro. I've switched over to
Looks
my
like
phone.
he's put up 2 more, maybe.
Okay. The last one that I read was the one that's up right now.
Okay, so this one says, donating because I didn't pay for NFL
Yep,
Pass.
got that one.
10 New Zealand dollars, about 6 American, but $10 is $10 in New Zealand. That's cool, man. I really appreciate you, bro. No worries. Thank you for donating, bro. And then he has another one that says, just wait for a good time to flood donations. Been getting my money right, but What a good time to come back. Yeah, that's right. It's best time to be a Dolphin fan, bro. We're 2-0 going into our home game undefeated. I love it. I'm going to take care of business at home, so I cannot wait. And we'll get more into that this week for sure. We'll be talking about that. But I want to talk about a few things about Sunday real quick. And since we're talking about defense, by the way, Color, I want to segue to Van Ginkel, if you don't mind.
Sure.
If that's all right. So, this article I'm going to read is from Omar Kelly, and he puts out some good points, and I want to read this. So, Andrew Van Ginkel was a man without an NFL team for the first 3 weeks of free agency this spring, if you guys remember. While the former Wisconsin standout took some visits and flirted with a couple of teams, the Miami Dolphins 2019 fifth-round pick ultimately decided he wasn't ready to leave South Florida and signed a team-friendly deal and could be worth $2.6 million if he plays in every game this season. Based on what we've seen the first 2 games, that might be the best contract the Dolphins made this offseason because Van Ginkel has been a major contributor to the Miami's first 2 wins and might be the best bang for your buck player on the team. In my opinion, Van Ginkel was the top performer in the 24-17 win over New England on Sunday night after being called on to replace injured Jalen Phillips. That is not a lie, Color. I am sorry to tell you this, Color, because I know Jalen Phillips is your favorite player, but he really came to play, right?
You're
He was
absolutely right.
in Mac Jones' face and in his head the entire game.
Yep.
Right? The entire game, he was coming or gunning for Mac Jones, right?
And I tell you real quick, that could serve to for a guy like Phillips, that could serve to light a fire. But on the other token, one more door shut, the door shut again one more time for a guy like Cameron Good to get some action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Van Ginkel just did his thing. There was no reason. I don't think we saw Cameron Good on one single snap.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, so there again, also because from the on the forefront, with Jalen Phillips, but then in looking to the other end too, a guy like Good just continues to not get a chance. You know what I mean? Because the guy in front of him doesn't want to let go of the reins.
Mm-hmm.
And good for Van Ginkel because it's
Yeah.
helping us. Despite my feelings for one number 15. You know what I mean? I think he'll get it right, bro. I really do. I don't. I think we're looking at cautious injury whole thing. I don't necessarily, but we could also be looking at a quiet a pseudo benching. You know what I mean? For all we know.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the other part of it too, Color. If this was okay. I told everybody we need to take New England seriously because they have a top 5 defense, right? But their offense is still not top par. It's still Mac Jones. So maybe they thought they could get away with, giving him a break because this late back injury that he picked up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And McDaniel is known for being, kind of, I wouldn't say overcautious, but I guess for some people's taste, overcautious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you
So
mean.
I don't, like I said, I don't want to jump to conclusions that they were sending a message to him or anything. You know what I mean? But if by Van Ginkel performing, that effectively does the same thing. You know what I mean? So, we'll see if that helps, get him a little fire under him.
Yeah, I definitely understand. Now, here's Omar is going to go into the stock up, stock down stuff, and we'll talk about that here momentarily.
Okay, cool.
But I want to comment on Van Ginkel before we continue.
Sure.
In my opinion, if he does this again from a Jalen Phillips position, right? I don't want to see him in the middle, a linebacker position at all. I want him on the edge every time then. Because, in my opinion, even though he says he was a major contributor, he didn't look great at middle linebacker. You know what I mean? You could see his main role as an outside linebacker, edge player, bringing the heat. You could tell it's his favorite position. He looked like he's been playing it all of his life. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm talking about, Color?
Right, right.
So that's just my opinion. I don't know. I do agree he's a major contributor because he'll do whatever the doctor works up, but if so to speak. But I think last night at Edge, bro, he's even looked better than Agba, and Agba's the guy that got the bag for the position, and that's not a lie, bro.
Right.
He looked better than what Agba has looked all off season at that position. And that's from the stand up position going at Edge. If you watch them last night, both Edge people, both I think it was Chubbs on the other side and Van Ginkel on the other side. They didn't have their hand in the dirt. It was from the stand up position. A lot of people said they didn't like that. They want to see their hands in the dirt. And that's an issue with Agba. They say they don't look right. So that's just my assessment. But let's go on with to see what Omar Kelly had to say. So he says stock up definitely is linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel. A week after manning the nickel linebacker spot, Van Ginkel was a force as an edge rusher against the Patriots. He finished the game with 6 tackles, 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits, and 1 pass breakup. I don't know what a top performer looks like if it doesn't look like that color. But more importantly, his game showed a tremendous amount of growth. The spin move he put on, he used consistently, beat Patriot right tackle Calvin Anderson, was a new move he's added to the arsenal. At this point, it's clear Van Ginkel will receive a large role in Miami's defense because he's a player who's earned defensive coordinator Vic Fangio's trust. That is not a lie. Did you see that spin move, Color? Did you watch that?
I'm not sure if I caught that.
Oh, he was like playing Madden, dude. He put on a spin move over and over again on this right tackle, I want to say. And oh my god, dude, they couldn't do anything. He would push the guy up, 5 yards towards the quarterback and then spin out of it and go after the quarterback every time. I'm surprised Mac Jones didn't get sacked more often, to be honest. So it was ridiculous.
Gotta
Oh,
love
let's
it.
see.
Gotta love it, man.
Yeah, gotta love it. In addition, he says that the next stock up is tailback Raheem Mostert, and that's not a lie. Mostert put on 15 pounds of muscle this offseason, hoping to silence the critics who wonder how much thread the 31-year-old has left on his wheels. On Sunday night, Mostert could be spotted using that muscle to bowl over defenders on his way to 121 yards, 2 touchdown performances on 18 carries. Mostert 158 yards rushing in the past 2 games has him ranked 6th in the NFL in rushing, and his 5.6 per carry average has him ranked 11th heading into Monday night's games. Let's actually talk about that. We didn't get to talk about that on Monday, Colin.
Right. Well, I want to point out last Sunday night's game alone performance 6.72 per.
Say that again.
6.72 per carry Sunday night.
He was really effective. Let's talk about the run game as a whole. What did you think? Has it improved? Did you see more running than what was expected?
Well, no. It was he only got 18 carries. That's the fascinating part about it. He got exactly the amount of carries I would expect for this type of West Coast system. You know what I mean? And I think that's why people were so apprehensive about paying so much money for a running back is, you're only giving him that many carries. But look what he did with it, bro. I don't know if that's sustainable. Maybe it is for a younger guy, but maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe it is sustainable. But, it's, again, not as much quantitative as I suspect as it is qualitative and situational. Because really, I mean, that you're talking about some of his runs coming off of draw plays, when we're expected to pass because our passing game is so effective. You know what I mean? And also, I guess maybe I still don't think we led with the run Sunday night, despite it being the game plan, because knowing that Bill Belichick was going to suppress our passing game. You know what I mean? I still don't think we led with the run, if you know what I mean. You know, like
Yeah.
we still use the pass to open it up. But again, it was effective mainly. And I guess if you're talking about
Mm.
15 carries, yeah, we
You want to
ran
know
it
what the
3 more times,
percentage
but we
was
still only
last
ran
night?
it 18 times with Mostert. You know what I
Color,
mean?
color. I just found this, and it's still kind of hard for me to believe this, though, right? Do you want to know what the percentage pass to rush ratio was Sunday night?
I thought it was like 60-40.
You want to say it was 60-40, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought I had heard that, but I could be wrong.
It was 50-50.
Really? See, there you go.
They
I
had
mean, that's
30
nice.
attempts at passing and 30 attempts at rushing.
Again, though, I know it's evenly balanced, but you can still lead with one or the other.
Oh yeah,
And I
definitely. I
still
get it.
believe we were leading with the pass. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the pass was being effective, you know. And let me just put it this right. Shout out to Tua because Tua did not need to throw a deep pass after deep pass. They were figured out what they were doing defensively and they took advantage of it. Tyreek was open in those first 10 yards like every time, bro. They could have just kept doing that over and over again until they made an adjustment. You know what I mean? It was very impressive. And then in addition, I felt that McDaniel ran the ball at the appropriate time and took advantage. And even finally, we got to see Mostert finally break free on one of these runs and run it all the way in, for a touchdown. So shout out
Again,
to
and
Mostert.
and again,
But,
the 50-50
mhm.
likely came on that last drive when we salted away that 4 minutes or that 2 minutes of that 4 minutes. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah. Hmm.
look, we needed to cap that off with a score. Obviously, we missed the field goal and all that, but
Hmm.
you still did what you needed to do there time wise. You know, you still
Yeah.
ran off as much time as you possibly could before having to make that field goal attempt. You know what I mean? And
100%.
and
100.
and that's because the effective running by Mostert on that drive. So
Hmm. I
that's
mean,
where we needed to do it. We don't need to be
yeah,
passing
definitely.
right there and stopping the clock for them.
Yeah. Let's also not forget if we had this offense right now in this type of offensive calling, right? And this is what I believe, Color. If we had this team right now the way it is and how healthy they are and whatnot, last year for both Buffalo games at Buffalo, I say we win the game because we're doing something that we didn't do very well last season. And
hmm
that was run the clock out and kill the time with the
Oh,
run game.
absolutely, absolutely. If
You know
you
what I mean?
take that last drive for us, if you
Mhm.
insert that into the drive that it started snowing on in Buffalo last
Yeah,
year, we
yeah,
win that game. Bottom
yeah.
line, we win that game.
Even in the playoff game, we win that game because we were winning at that point, and all we had to do was kill the clock. You
hmm
know what I mean? We could have
hmm
killed the clock better and make things much, much, much harder for Josh Allen and
Yep,
company.
I think we were at what 7 something minutes
Yeah, and
when
we
the
had
snow
the lead.
started to
And
fall
we had
last year.
yeah.
A 12 play drive of running could have easily knocked 5 minutes off that 7 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want to point that out there. Last season, both Buffalo away games, the playoff and the regular season, at some point in that game, we had the lead
hmm
going into the fourth quarter,
hmm
and they won the game in the fourth quarter in both of them.
And let's face it, last week against the Chargers, it very well could have backfired on us again.
Mm-hmm.
Where, look, I understand everybody's point about you're 4 points down, so you're in a little more of desperation mode than being able to try to manipulate the clock like that. Like I get that, okay, but remember how the sequence of events that happened, right? We 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 passed the ball on first down and threw an incompletion which means we got 0 yards and it stopped the clock. And the contention to me that people have said to me is you don't run the ball because you have to score, and the passing game was effective, and you're taking the rhythm away from Tua, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, if we would have ran the ball on first down, we likely would have got 1.5 yards, 2 yards, which is at least positive. And we wouldn't have lost any time, despite what people say, because they would have forced them to burn a timeout. So not only are you getting a free timeout because of your desperation having to score, but you're also making them use one of their last 2 for the turnaround. You know what I mean? So I just I don't understand the logic of passing there on first down. You know, that's a situation where you're talking about run the ball more. You see what I'm saying? Because again, if you I don't see any reason why Tua wouldn't have thrown that same perfect pass on third down if we would have run the ball on first down on that drive. I don't see that affecting anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if we all trust our offense to score there, which we say we do, awesome offense we have, and all our confidence in Tua and everything, then why is running the ball gonna destroy all that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
We had to make them burn a timeout there. Now, luckily, our defense came through and showed what it can do in an obvious passing situation. But if that didn't happen, bro, we would have been blaming the defense for giving up the game when it's obvious that we should have at least made them burn another timeout. It's complimentary.
In addition, the other person that he has stock up color, and this is a big one. Offensive tackle Kendall Lamb has performed very admirably the last 2 games. Lamb has been so good, so reliable, so forceful, so consistent as the Dolphins starting left tackle. The team has decided not to rush Teron Armstead's return to the starting unit. Despite Armstead practicing all last week, the Dolphins held him out of the Patriots game in the role of the Lamb wave again.
Right. Despite facing a Bill Belichick coach defensive line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's correct. A top 5 defense. The NFL journeyman locked down the left side of the offensive line, helping to keep Tagovailoa's jersey mostly clean for the second straight week. So he only had 1 sack, I want to say, right? He only got sacked once during the game?
Correct. I believe that's correct. And it was a coverage sack.
Yeah, there was no one to throw to.
So 2 weeks, and that's all they've been able to amount is a coverage sack on our quarterback.
Yeah. So it's I was
in road
impressed.
Games where the crowd is yelling and loud. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely. So yeah, I was very impressed. It's exactly what I expect from our team going forward, to be honest. So there's 2 stock downs. One of them I'm very concerned about. The other, kind of what I expected. There's really not much you could have done, to be honest, to change my mind about this. So the first one I'm going to go over is cornerback Eli Apple. Apple's veteran-savvy reputation allowed him to earn the 3rd cornerback role, but he certainly didn't play like a grizzled veteran against the Patriots. Apple was flagged for 3 penalties against New England, and 2 of them contributed to the Patriots' scoring drives that chipped away at Miami's 4th quarter lead. If Apple doesn't clean up his game, the Dolphins will need to open up the competition with Cam Smith, the rookie who is laboring to earn Fangio's trust and respect. Yeah, see, that's something I don't understand. You brought in Cam Smith and you haven't used him yet. You know what I mean? I understand why you'd go with Apple because he's a veteran. I get it. But he really hasn't done anything that's impressive to me. He's doing exactly what I expected him to be. He hasn't turned heads and be like, oh, he's improved or anything. You know what I mean? It was Devontae Parker, bro. It's not like you're going up against Justin Jefferson or somebody like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. If you can't cover Devontae Parker, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, and it is what it.
All right, crypto.
I'm just being straight up, bro. I didn't. He doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah,
hoping Fangio would really make him do the turnaround and improve his play, and it just I don't know. It's
I got you.
he's doing exactly what I would expect him to do, right? The
I
other
guess
guy,
the trade-off is for whatever Apple's faults are, they're
Mhm.
probably equal to the risk of rookie mistakes. You know what I mean? So that's probably the calculus there, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's probably what it is. He's a veteran.
I'm
You think
reaching, Ali. I'm really reaching for you. You know what I mean? To be
no,
honest
it's
with you.
okay. You're absolutely right, though. He's a veteran. He has more experience against some of these teams, and with that being said, that he should be knowledgeable enough to adjust when he needs to and when they ask him to and stuff without
Right,
having to
right.
explain.
The
I
fallacy
definitely
there is though, if Cam weren't to make any rookie mistakes, then he's far better a defensive back option than Apple. You know what I mean? Veteran or not, you
yeah,
know.
that's true. That is true. So I definitely get it. We'll have to see what happens here. I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm very interested to see when we start using Cam Smith. I want to see him
Right,
get on the field.
right.
Maybe they'll come with one of these teams that we have to play that might be tanking for the season. Then maybe we'll see him or whatever. But you use the second round draft pick on him, and usually first and second rounds are guaranteed starters normally.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? If he was a third round pick, okay, I get it. He has to work his way. He's really a third string, so he's probably going to be on the bench. But first and second round picks are generally starters.
hmm
And why this guy hasn't gotten on the field yet concerns me because I honestly thought he did very, very well in the offseason. And, pass block after pass block. I don't care he's not getting the interceptions yet,
right,
but he's getting the pass blocks. And that's what I like. Or pass breakups. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
love seeing the PBUs over and over and over again. You
Well,
know what I mean?
We'll see what happens this week. You know, we're coming back home with a lot of momentum against a team that, while they seem to be pretty efficient on offense, they're kind of reeling a little bit. You know what I mean? Given their 0-2 start, uh, maybe we'll see and break him out, get him a little game action because you certainly don't want to debut him against a team like Buffalo. You know,
Mhm. Yep, I understand that. Definitely. The other guy I'm very, very more concerned for. Very, very more concerned. I'm absolutely concerned about kicker Jason Sanders, bro. Now, it would be irresponsible of me to knock Sanders for the field goal that got blocked because how creative the Patriots were putting a man in motion before the snap. That's not a lie, bro. That even freaked me out for a moment. This
uh,
guy goes running and basically gets full steam ahead for him to get into that backfield
yeah.
like much faster than normal.
Belichick showing everybody, hey, I ain't stupid. I understand mathematics and analytics. I can play that game too. Here you
You know what
go. This
Tyreek
guy can
in
run this
motion?
freaking distance in this amount of seconds, and it takes this many seconds for the kick to get off. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, let's not lie. He basically did what Tyreek was doing the last game and in this game, where he goes into motion and takes off before the ball's even snapped.
Right, but as
You
far
know
as
what
the calculus goes,
I mean?
it's
Mhm.
simple mathematics. He's doing the same thing Mike McDaniel did
Right.
when he called the timeout, giving us 9 seconds left to do something with the ball last week. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. We got two receivers that can cover 80 yards in 8.4 seconds. We had 9 seconds on the clock. You know what I mean? We could do something. You know?
It was a classic Belichick move that changed the momentum of the game, but the
Yep.
55-yard field goal Sanders missed in the fourth quarter nearly cost the Dolphins the game. And this was the second straight week a miss. Last week, an extra point miss stirred up more end of the game drama that was needed. If 2.5 million of Sanders' 3.37 million contract wasn't guaranteed, we probably see Miami bringing in some kickers for a tryout these coming days. That's no lie, bro. I kind of think something's going on, and I don't know if it's the kicker
It's
or if
just
it's
bad
the
luck,
special
dude.
teams.
It's just
Well,
bad luck. And I'm not excusing. I'm not saying that that's something we can deal with. We got to move on, I guess, at some point. But I
mhm.
don't. I just simply think it's a matter of bad luck, dude. Like I could point to. I could give you reasons why like these recent misses. I can give you reasons, but they're not excuses. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
here's the thing. I can understand.
ultimately, you could be the. It's like what I was saying last night on Shake Show. You could be the best poker player in the world, but if
Mm,
you have bad luck, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I definitely understand that, color.
You know.
Listen, this is where I'm at, color. Um, I I think it was Crypto who was at the game,
Mhm.
posted in our group chat that pre-game Jason Sanders hooked the 55-yarder, as in he missed it.
Mhm.
And if he can't even do it pregame when there's no defense, no motion, nothing in front of you, how can I trust you to do it in game?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't know which Jason Sanders am I going to get from this. Am I going to get money Sanders, or I'm going to get
well,
broken
here again,
down clearance
here,
aisle Sanders?
here again, crypto pointed out something else that
Mm,
he may not have realized was a correlation itself.
okay.
He moved down to the lower level at some point during the game because it was colder in the upper deck.
Oh, well, there you go.
Now, if you're talking about a warm to cold transfer, if it's drastic enough when that ball is flying through the air, that it could explain a hook right there. It's hitting a solid cold air mass
Mm,
while it's traveling upward. That would definitely cause the ball to veer off, scientifically speaking. It would explain why he also hooked it in warm up.
yeah,
See,
I guess you're kind of right.
I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's simply
Mhm,
bad luck, bro. You know. And I'm
mhm.
not trying. And unfortunately, bad luck is a bad trait. It's no different than a bad skill, or a flaw. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to excuse him at all. If he keeps missing, it doesn't matter if it's because of divine intervention. It still does us no good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So at some point, you have to cut. You have to cut bait or whatever you have to do, or maybe it changes. I don't know, but it is what it is.
Mm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is what it is, and I don't know.
What
I
started with some mechanical issues that probably got corrected just devolved into bad luck, bro. Like every miss, I could sit here and point out, well, if this didn't happen, it would have been perfectly fine. But that's up to him. Other kickers aren't dealing with that for whatever reason. Even if it is just bad luck, other kickers ain't dealing with it. You know,
mm, yeah, I don't know, bro.
it's
You're
interesting.
absolutely right.
It's a case study in the importance of luck on certain positions in sports. You know what I mean? I pointed to the Cardinals pitcher back in the mid '90s or whatever, or early thousands or something, that just like was like tearing it up as a pitcher, and then all of a sudden he fell off the planet, couldn't throw a strike, ended up
Mm,
retiring. We could never get it back right again. Came back to play outfield after sitting out for a couple of years.
mhm. We'll just have to see what happens. I mean, I'm very interested in seeing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll have to see.
And we could go from that to kicks a game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl. You never know, you know.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out. Did you notice when Butker lined up for a kick last week, last Chiefs game? They had his stat line up from last year. It wasn't looking too pretty either, man. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's terrible too, but they keep sticking with him. Again, I think these teams like ours get in the mindset that we're going to score so many points it just don't matter, you know. Except the Chiefs actually do.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if we wouldn't have, there's a couple other spots we didn't cash in for points. We cash in for points there. Jason Sanders missed don't mean anything. I guess that's part of the thought too. Don't leave it up to the kicker. You know, that could just be a coaching mentality that we don't agree with as fans. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
again, our special teams are ranked in the bottom of the barrel. We all blame Crossman and all that. Well, why can't we blame him for that too? Why are we getting free rushers coming in with flying cross bodies on our kicker to have to kick around? I mean, if you look at the extra point miss last week, look at it again, Ollie. You'll see the guy coming in flying cross body on him. That maybe you could say that shouldn't affect a good kicker. Okay, fine, but he did have to kick around the guy.
Hey,
and it was wide right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, just so you guys are aware, for the last 10 minutes, let's do some Q&A, caller. If you guys can put your questions in the chat, that would be great. We can start answering those. We'll go about 10 minutes over, caller, today. I was late, okay? So we'll have about 20 minutes to answer questions. So put any questions you got or any topics you guys want to talk about in the chat, and we'll start answering them. I'm going to step away just for one moment. I'll be right back.
Sure. And again, I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to be an apologist or anything, or I'm not making excuses for the guy. Luck is luck. And if you have bad luck, it is what it is. You know, other kickers also have to deal with that. You know, but at some point we also have to look at if we're going to blame the special teams coordinator for other mishaps and other deficiencies. Well, our special teams offensive line needs to get things right too. Well, you know, let's put it squarely there too. I mean, the first time, okay, Belichick comes out with this innovative way to get a free rusher in the backfield. Fine. But what about the second time? You aren't ready for that? I mean, the guy still got by him. You know, I mean, again, it is what it is. I hope to see him get it right. He's obviously, because of, as was pointed out in the article, the contract situation gives him the opportunity to keep trying. But dang, you know, I just don't want to get in this mode of chasing kickers like teams tend to do when they get rid of a kicker mid-season like that. Next thing you know, we're bringing in this guy and that guy, and they're all junk too, you know, because they ain't been kicking all year. Whatever it is, you know. So we just got to be careful of doing that too. Fins up, Winsy. How you doing? Again, thank you again for another $2 donation. Hit the like button, he says, or be part. Oh yeah, I can't put that up, dude. You know I can't be. I can't put that up, bro. But thank you for the donation anyway. CB83 coming in. Tua Leroy, what's up, man? S. Harris coming in the chat. Good morning, S. Harris. Says, is Wilkins, let me read some of these questions. Is Wilkins, hold on, sorry, bro. Is Wilkins usually lined up there? Feel like it should be a tight end or Ingold. Yeah, I saw that too. I really just think they're trying to play the whole gimmicky thing to keep the fans on his good side. Like, you know, keep him on the good side of the fans, you know. Oh, the cute gimmick thing, you know what I mean? We can't give up Wilkins because he does this or that, you know. Newfoundland asks, can you trust Sanders to hit a 45, 50-yarder for the game? I mean, again, he did last year, and that's what McDaniel said was his reasoning for trusting him on that 55-yarder. I think that's McDaniel blowing sunshine, but that is what he happened to say. Yeah, Robbie Gould is a free agent. Sackman asks. I heard that as well. Let's see. We got a question from Flaming Finn. How do y'all feel about the dominant line so far and the new defense? New defense still is a work in progress, but still holding down enough and giving us enough opportunity to score points on offense. So, gotta like that. It's coming together. It can only get better in my estimation. And as far as the dominant O line, hey, refreshing. I think we started to see that towards the end of the year. People didn't want to recognize it because of talking points or whatever. But I think it's starting to really, really come together, and I think we can start to understand why Greer said that we were worried about it more than he was. Let's see. Fighting the fight, traffic, truckers in traffic.
Did you get the?
Yeah, I got the super chat. We don't want to read it anyway.
Okay. No offense, Finzi. I can't read that. YouTube will hate on us.
Kevin Lee says, "What up, Ali and Color? Do you all think we can run the table the way we're playing right now? Don't see anyone giving us a challenge except maybe Philly, KC, or Baltimore. Also, how does Denver defend us?" Good question on the last question. And look, Kevin Lee, I've always said that given proper execution and all that, we literally could beat anybody. It's doubtful anybody's going to go 17-0 in this day and age. But, yeah, I mean, the general answer to your question is, yeah, we could run the table. I actually think we have a better shot at beating KC than we do Philly. I see us kind of shocking the world with KC, but dropping a close one against Philly. And, of course, Baltimore resurging again, Lamar Jackson getting things right. And, they're pretty high ranked in offense right now, too. So, yeah, but I mean, look, we got, I'm sorry to hoard the question there, Ali, but one more point is that, we've already won 2 road games. Okay. We have 9 home games this season. And we have been pretty consistently winners at home the last couple years. If we run the table at home, we already got 11 wins. That's why it's so important and so great that we just went on a 2-0 run on the road to start the season. Because if we run the table at home, which is a real possibility for us, and probably a 50-50 probability, we got 11 wins already. I'm not counting those wins already. I'm just saying if we did what we're supposed to do, which is win at home, good teams win at home. Bottom line, but even if we dropped 1 at home, we're still at 10 wins already. So that's why it's so I'm really encouraged, and great question. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. Whose question was that?
Kevin Lee.
Okay. Is that the one about running the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I ended at the Flaming Finn's question, the dominant O line, and then Flaming Finn has the next one, and I'll pull it up right there for you to read.
Thank you.
That should be
Do
the
you
freshest
really believe KC gonna really give us a hard time the way the past 2 weeks been? Philly not even looking that scary. Well, let's put some things into perspective. I understand Philly is not looking that scary. They're going through some growing pains as they have both a new offense and defensive coordinator. The talent they have is still there. Once they come together, they will be scary. And they play us later in the season enough to actually get through some of those growing pains and might start be running at that point. So I would still take them very, very seriously, right? In addition to Kansas City, They looked much better this past week. They looked kind of like the Kansas City of old, seeing Travis Kelce out there. Come on, they have pretty much one of the best best coaching minds in the world, and that's Andy Reid. And if anyone's gonna maybe bring a fight to us, it better be Andy Reid, because I don't know who would at that point if it
Right.
can't be him. Just gonna be
Right.
honest. Um, and let's be real, they also have, in my opinion, the new GOAT of the NFL, because I think when it's all said and done, he could be, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is playing at a level that I don't see I've ever seen from any quarterback, to be honest. Not saying that Tua isn't great. I'm not saying that at all. Tua's been amazing these past 2 games, and he was amazing last season when he was healthy. But he's not a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes does things that I don't think I've seen from any quarterback, if any, in a very long time. Just being honest. And anybody that's a real football fan would know, would agree with that as well, even if you're a Tua fan. I have Tua fans saying the same thing, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
afraid to say it. Um,
The thing that's cool though, I mean, that's good for us though,
mm,
is that as far as most teams go, we're
mm,
one of the few that have the ability to match them toe to toe on points. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If given that we're executing, you know what I mean?
Yep, I definitely agree. We could match them to toe to toe on points. Their defensive line got better. They re-signed. They finally came up with an agreement for Chris Jones, and it did look like it bolstered their defensive line. They were plowing through through Jacksonville. It's kind of hard for me to figure out, was it Jacksonville just having a bad game and day off, or is Jacksonville that bad? Or is Kansas City that great? It was kind of hard to tell a little bit, to be honest, because some of the things I saw from Jacksonville was characteristic, if you know what I mean. Color. Some things that I saw last season that they did very well, they didn't do very well in this game. Um,
Right.
so I don't really know what's going on with that. I will still say those 2 games, the Kansas City game and the Philly game, are the 2 losses that I had predicted this season. And the Kansas City game, I want to say, is a little bit easier or now, so it's like within reach of us winning because it's in Germany and not at Arrowhead. Um, and I think that our running game is clicking enough that we could play a very similar game um to what Detroit did in that first game. It's very possible. You know what I mean? Um we could do something similar to that and come away with the win. Now, the Philadelphia game, I believe that game is in Philly, right? It's not a home game, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so Philly at Philly, it's going to be a tough crowd. The From what I understand, the fans are one of the worst, one of the nastiest fans in the league. Um, and at that time, I expect that team to be rolling at full cylinders, and we'll have to see what happens. Now, can we win that game? Anything is possible. I mean, let's be real. You've seen a team outside of the undefeated Miami Dolphins team go undefeated in the regular season. So anything is possible, right? It's just, will it happen? I don't know. And right now, I see us winning every game. The only 2 question marks, can we win it or not, are the Philly and Kansas City game. That's where I'm at. That's it. Everybody else, I don't see why we can't win at all. So, and shout out to the 43 people watching right now. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. I just want to shout out to CB83. I see he's in here. How's it going? Dolphin Don, Newfoundland, all these people. Thank you for showing up. Aquavision, I see you. Is there any more questions, Color? We got about 8 more minutes.
Let's see. There's a bunch. There's probably a bunch. Hold on. I kind of lost the scroll here. All right.
Here, I got it. I found it here. Do you guys all okay? This is Roadrunner. Do you all think Brooks will get some playing time Sunday against Ahmed? Might be out. That is a good question. I'll let you take it first, Color.
It's possible. Although I'm pretty sure they want to continue getting a look at A Chain. after giving them the ball a couple times last Sunday. It's really hard to say. I default to no. I default to that he probably don't get called up. You know what I mean? But if he gets called up, look for it to happen. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he'll get called up without getting the rock.
This is true. This is true. I think Brooks might get some playing time, maybe in situational, maybe that goal line, you know, on the one, type of thing. We
Oh, and
might
we
see
were
that.
so set up for it against what was it, against the Chargers. I called it. Ollie is like, we're going to be in a 2nd and 7 from the goal, like 2nd and goal from the 7.
Hmm.
And he wasn't even in the game. I'm like, oh gosh, we actually got the scenario that I called for.
I know. I
His
know.
same yardage and everything. I'm like, wow, we're sitting here at 2nd and goal from the 7. Are you kidding me? And no
Yeah.
Brooks.
Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. We'll have to see what happens. Brooks is still a undrafted rookie. We haven't really seen him in live game. I don't. It depends on the situation of the game. Like if we go in and we're blowing out Broncos, for example, I could see them bringing him in to
Mhm,
try him out,
mhm.
see what he does, and then get his feet wet. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be a significant role right off the bat. I think it'll be like a play here or there, and then you'll start seeing a little bit more playing time throughout the season. That's what I think is going to happen. Hmm. Kevin Lee has another good question. Shout out to Kevin Lee. Does Denver go to man, which I don't think is smart based on week one or zone, but Tua just goes over the top and we will kill them with the run. It's impossible. Does Denver go man? Man.
I mean, look, pick your poison because you could either do what the Chargers did, or you can do what Belichick did, and we proven we can run the ball now. So, like, wow, what a pickle.
I'm gonna put this straight up, bro. I'm gonna put this straight up. Do you guys realize that all these haters, especially on Sunday Night Football, that includes Tony Dungy, that includes what's his name that used to be the former Dallas Cowboys coach,
Mhm.
for example, and I want to say it's two other people, right? The one guy, I get it, he used to play for the Patriots, so I understand why he picked the Patriots. But they all picked the Patriots and told them that the keys to winning this game is not play man to man, go to zone, and you will win. Right?
Yep.
That's what they said, right? And Mike McDaniel and Tua said, "Hold my beer, you ain't winning with either." Right? That's what's happened over the past 2 weeks. You couldn't beat us man to man. You can't beat us with zone. What else is left? What other coverage can they come up with? Are they
Yep.
going to rush you and put everybody in the backfield or out in the back
Mhm.
in the secondary?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the only other way you could possibly do this. And guess what? We're going to still run the ball at that point.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The only
So,
way to beat us is to out physical our offensive line and blow our plays up before they get a chance to get off the ground. But they're
and so
so
far,
quick. They're so
yeah.
quick, and as noted by our opponents, uh, we just get the ball out so quick. It's pointless to even rush to it.
Hmm. And look, this is the reality of it, right? So far, a top five defense and a defense that was supposed to be much superior than they were last year has not been able to do it.
Hmm.
You understand? A
Yep.
top five defense and a defense that was supposed to be much more superior than what they beat us last year could not do it.
Yep. And now we're facing a defense whose coordinator's on the hot seat.
Hmm.
You know, we've had him in our building as our coordinator. I mean, I guess the answer to Kevin's question is, what do you expect a guy like Vance Joseph to do? What's been his tendencies? You know what I mean? Uh, all I know is he doesn't seem to be able to command a defensive group. for whatever reason.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's let's see here. I'm just trying to see what other questions we have. We have 2 more minutes, Color. I want to get one more question in. Okay, we already talked about Brooks, A-Chain. Okay. Yes, I want to trade, but I want a reasonable trade. Roach or Jags Junkie. I know I will be hitting you up soon tonight, probably. So check your trade offers soon. I just want it to be reasonable and fair. So just so you're aware of that. Man, come on, leave Jags Junkie alone. Leave him alone. You can bring up the all 22 CB83. For whatever reason, when I do it or Color does it, we get in trouble for some reason. So you can do that. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, we don't have them patrician connections.
Shake Money is asking, do I want his dog? Now, I already have a dog. She's a 65-pound, half German Shepherd, half Doberman. So I think I'm good. I'm good. I was trying to find one more question to answer, Color, before we shut it down. Okay, here's a good question. Dolphin Don. This will be the last question of the day, and then we're going to shut it down. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on notification bell. Dolphin Don is asking, are we still looking at Jonathan Taylor, or are we good? All right, so the answer to that question is, yeah, we're good, but we're still looking at Jonathan Taylor. Let me explain why. This is only game 2 of the season. A lot can happen in a season. We went through 3 games, and then look what happened. We had a major injury that took our quarterback out for however many games, right? And we didn't get to see him in several games, and we could have used a really good, decent quarterback during that time, right? No offense to Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater, but they weren't it. Let's just be real, right? In addition to it, this offense is very grueling to the running back position, specifically if we are going to start running the ball more 50-50, as we saw against New England. And I could see teams trying to play that type of defense against us still, Color. I kind of think that might happen more often now. So I think you might have to run the ball a little bit more. You saw what happened in San Francisco with this type of offense. They go through running backs like it's water, to be honest, right? Up until last year, that's what they did. So if you have a chance to bring in a top-rated running back and a guy that's super young still and has his whole career ahead of him, at a price point that is more feasible to you, and have him go running into a playoff run, I would definitely do it. Specifically based on how we're playing, and if, let's say, things play out the way that I think they are, you're going to be one of the teams playing in the AFC Championship game going into a Super Bowl. And in my opinion, what is that pick 30 or 31 or 32 really going to be at that point? What is it going to be worth to you? You're not going to get a top-rated running back at that point. You're not going to get one of the top-rated wide receivers. You're not going to get one of the top-rated offensive tackles, or even maybe even a top-rated center might be gone by then, right? If there is a top-rated center, right? Go get yourself the best thing. Your backfield is already going to have holes in it next season. Go get Jonathan Taylor, right? You have a generational talent. You already agreed with him on a contract structure, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm okay with giving up the first round pick if you can kind of see that it's going to be a pick 31 to 32 or even a pick 30 to 32. What do you think, Color?
Oh yeah, I'm still in agreement. I mean, you still go after that talent. I mean, look, I'm not. We loved Mostert's performance last week. Is it sustainable? Is it going to happen every time? You just make things so much easier for yourself going forward with a talent like that.
Yeah, you guys have to understand. Mostert's what 31 going to 32. His money was really only guaranteed this season. So even if he's on a 2-year contract, next season it's not guaranteed. They could move off of him very easily.
Right. To me, it's
Right.
a subtle difference between being one of the best teams in the league and being the best team in the league. You know what I mean? It's a subtle difference.
And look at Philadelphia, what they did last year. Philadelphia said, we know we have two really good running backs here. Our running back room is fine, but you know what? We need that added depth. Let's go ahead and bring on Melvin Gordon. They brought in Melvin Gordon. They didn't even need him. They did not need Melvin Gordon. They brought him in. Right. And I know Melvin Gordon and Jonathan Taylor are two different people, but wouldn't you rather have Jonathan Taylor on your side versus seeing him go to a team like New England, the Jets,
the Browns,
the Bills? Imagine Jonathan Taylor with the Bills. You guys think that I'm joking when I say he could be a Buffalo Bill? I'm not kidding, bro. That team could very well bring him in because right now, who they have, their running game is no different than what it has been. And they're trying to tell me the whole issue with their offense is that they're missing out on the running game, right?
Yep.
So if that's the case, then hope to God he is not a Buffalo Bill at that point. So I'd rather see him on our team than another AFC East team. Let alone if I find out he goes to another team for super cheap, I'm going to be pissed because that guy is a generational talent. He would definitely make defenses respect your running game 100%, right? And it would open up things even more for Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle to eat because everybody's going to be worried about the run, right? And when they're not worried about the passing game, they're worried about the run, right? That's basically what would be happening left and right. You're opening it one hole for the other. And when they shut down the passing game, no worries. You got the running game wide open for you. When they shut down the running game, guess what? The passing game's wide open for you. It's like pick your open door. That's basically what would happen here. So I would still do it. I still think they are going to do it. It's even been rumored that they're going to do it. So that is something to really think about. But anyway, gentlemen, I appreciate everyone hanging out and ladies. Facebook user doesn't tell me your name, but good morning. Definitely good morning. But I want to say thank you all for hanging out. Sorry I was late. Color, you're the man for holding it down for me. But we'll see you tomorrow, right, Color?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you tomorrow. And you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Fins up.
Yeah.